Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we are going to learn about how to host a static website using AWS S3. AWS S3 is an internet-based storage service offered by Amazon. So there is a option in terms of properties of the bucket, which allows us to enable the hosting of the static web pages in a very rapid manner. And to enable these properties, we have to create a bucket and upload our website related data, which is going to be more static in the nature. All the files of our website is going to be very static in the nature. All the contents are going to be very static in the nature. That means we have a fixed HTML files, maybe some CSS and JavaScript files, maybe some images, something like that. So if we have the website which is more of made with static contents, this is the best use case to very faster way and very speedy way we can host a website and make it live in very short time. So for our use case to complete, we are going to download a template from the internet which has the pre-cooked website, and we are going to use that. So I'll leave the URL of the same into the description so that you can complete your practice. So let's get started from downloading. We'll go to the website of the vendor who provides us the template of static website. We are going to call it as a Modelo. So Modelo is a website which is going to help the different emerging models from across the world to make their portfolio and upload it so that the internal panel can have a look into this portfolio and shortlist and call them for different opportunities. And same time, the Modelo website can publish different campaign and news and information so that it helps the people who are yet to start their modeling career. So this is going to be a cool website to implement, and in fact, we are not going to do any of the hard work on to develop the website as we are getting it just pre-cooked. So what we are going to do is we are going to go to the place where we have a download button and download it. So if you're a developer, feel free to develop your same similar site or same content, and then you can make use of your own developed website by following the same steps. It's not going to be different steps, it's the same steps. Moreover, to implement the static website hosting into S3. So I'm going to download it, and once it is downloaded, I'm going to go to the same folder where it is downloaded, and then I'll unpack it. After uncompressing, I will open the folder and locate the contents like index.html primarily, and rest of the things which is going to make a menu inside, the one that you have already seen over here. Home, about us, models, news, contact, and yep. So these are going to be the menu items which will be navigated from the index.html. And this is going to be the default page when we hit our basic URL or base URL of the website. This is the page that is going to render. Internally, these pages has the references to styling, which is CSS, plugins, JavaScript, images, and fonts. So this all will be consumed through these web pages, which you will see rendering in your browser. So let's get back to our AWS Management Console. You should be logged into your AWS Management Console. And to locate the S3, you should start from the services storage S3. Once S3 loaded in your browser, then we'll be creating a fresh bucket for our website hosting. So I'm going to give a name as a Modelo dot the codeschool.com, and this is going to be my bucket name. And I'm using the lengthier name because I want to make sure that this name is available for the bucket for me, since the bucket names are uniquely identified across the different AWS accounts. So I'm just giving the name and hoping that this is available. Yes, here I'm not going to make any change. I'll go to the next screen, and here this is important to get rid of this. So uncheck so that you go towards the public accessibility. And this is important because your bucket contents like objects and folders should be visible outside as a public access. Otherwise, this website will not be available for internet users, right? So I'm going to click next and create bucket. I have my bucket over here. So what I'm going to do is first thing, upload the files. So to all files that I see over here, I'm going to select all of them and then drag as a one-time job. All of them will be dragged as a reference over here. And the moment I say upload, the upload starts. Once the upload is done, I'll proceed towards the making it flag of the properties, which is responsible enabling the website hosting. I'm going to just turn it on from the disable state to the enable state. So yeah, so next is the properties, and this is the one I was talking about. So static website hosting, currently it is disabled, and I'm going to make it enable by clicking on the first one, use this bucket to host a website. Here it is important to give a file index.html as a start page, because this is where my browser will start loading the files of this S3. And if you will not give it, it will automatically take as index.html as a default. So there's nothing to worry about. Before I click on a save and close this, I must copy the endpoint of my website. This is going to be my domain of the website, and I can save now. Once I save it, if I go back to the same property, I'll see that the tick mark is appearing here, and this is appearing as a enabled one, right? So this says that the half the job is done. And why the half the job is done? Because still the public accessibility is not given. So if I hit this into the browser, I'll get the same error, which will say that 403 forbidden. That means it is not yet open publicly. So only the bucket is open publicly. While we were creating the bucket, we made it public, but all the contents that we have copied, the objects that we have copied inside, they do not have the visibility. They are not having the visibility for the user. So definitely that permission has to be added. We are going to use the bucket policy to make the entire bucket publicly accessible, including the objects. So for that, I have a bucket policy configuration over here for my bucket to make it internet users seeing the bucket content here. That means the browsers should be able to access the bucket content. That means they should do the get operation on the objects which is resting inside this particular bucket that I have created, right? So this is the bucket which I have created, and I'm giving the permission to entire user anywhere in the world over the internet can access it. So in this policy, basically there are four different parts which is major. The first is effect. Effect is either you grant or you deny. So it comes as a allow or deny. So here I'm going to allow, and what I'm going to allow is the actions which is supposed to be accessed by or used by the principal, and principals are the users or resources which is supposed to use the different resources which is mentioned over here. So actions can be comma separated, and multiple actions can be clubbed together here. But for browser, it is just going to be read operation that they are going to do on this bucket. So the S3 get object operation or action is more than sufficient for browser to load the website. So this is the only one over here that applies in case of website. Suppose if you have some web-based editors, definitely when they make changes inside the S3, then you want to integrate some of the calls of over the REST API into the S3. In that case, you should open some more actions for the browser basically. But here we'll be okay with this. So principal star says that it is any user. Resources is this is the ARN of the bucket which you can verify your copy from here. So this is your bucket ARN which is listed uh, ARN of the bucket. Yep. And once the bucket ends, there is a slash and star which says that anything inside this bucket is also follows the same effect and action for the principal. Once I'm done, I'm going to click on the save, and then it will turn bucket policy and permission as a public access. And here my all of these objects and folders and objects inside the folders are publicly accessible. And I can see the same effect over here on the level of the bucket. It became a public. So now if go back to the website and refresh, we should see our website loading. So this is the index.html that is loading all of the information and which comes from inside here. The first file to start. So this is the file which is loading all of them, and uh, we can navigate through the different menus, and it is functional, kind of not a dummy pages. It has a good navigation, so you can see that all the different menus, they are rendering well. So this website works as a full-fledged business website, and this is cool, right? Yep, so that's all from hosting the website. But before you just stop the video, you must be deleting the resource that you have created so that you are not unnecessarily falling into the trap of billing, right? So let's copy it and paste it and delete it. So the moment I click over here, the website is deleted now. So the S3 bucket is deleted, which was having all of the templates, the static website related information. So now if I refresh, I'm not going to get the website loaded because I have already deleted, and it's telling that page not found or not found for not for. So uh, that says we do not have any bucket which we were hosting the website with, right? So that is deleted. I'm sure that you might have certain question related to S3 or AWS. Kindly feel free to write your questions in the comments. I'll be very happy to get back to you if I can answer your questions. Uh, Thanks for watching, and I'll bring another video very shortly. So thanks a lot.